We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. This is also a TikTok Live. You know how I love doing these because we get a chance to talk to a lot of people. It's a lot of fun. It's very informative. And some of the people that crop up on these lives are truly amazing. We had somebody from the DOD last time. But I wanted to do a live tonight because there's so much shit to talk about. There's a lot of things to talk about at this point. We have the big filibuster by Cory Booker. He broke the record, Strom Thurmond's record. Truly amazing. Whether you like what he says, whether you support Cory Booker or not, and I don't know why you wouldn't, you have to respect what he did to actually talk continually for 25 hours. To not go to the bathroom. I don't know what the hell he did with that, but that was truly amazing. And he stirred up a lot of emotions. He created some inspiration. He voiced some important things about what the Republicans are doing, things that needed to be said. And people always will tell us, when are the Democrats going to do something? Well, Cory Booker did something. There are other people that will come along and say, well, it was just performative. Fuck you. This was important. This was a first step, and it did a lot of good. Of course, we had the two special elections down in Florida. A lot of people were helping or hoping that the Democrats would win. I never thought the Democrats would actually win. I mean, I hoped they would, but I didn't think it was likely. You have to remember, Donald Trump won those districts by 30 points. So did Matt Gaetz and Mike Waltz when they were there previously. There was 30% wins there. Now, while the Republicans did win, they only won by 14, 15%. That's got to tell you something. That's telling us that the Republican support, the independent support, is degrading a bit. It dropped by 20 points just since Donald Trump took office. So that's a win for the Democrats there. And those people in other districts, those reps in other districts with a far less margin, they got to be a little nervous tonight. I'm thinking the Republicans are nervous in the House of Representatives. But then the good news was that in that little election up in Wisconsin for the state Supreme Court, it was Crawford versus Schimmel. Crawford is the liberal, Schimmel the conservative. Now, this wouldn't have been a big story in most situations, but Elon Musk inserted himself into this thing, and he spent an unprecedented amount of money to help the conservative win. He even showed up, because what would be more helpful than Elon Musk himself showing up in Wisconsin? He got out on stage there, and as my governor, Tim Walz, might say, danced around like a dipshit, which he did, while wearing a cheese hat, a cheesehead hat. Yeah, how'd that go for you? Because they thought this would be a close race, and everybody was saying, well, they won't come up with an answer until 11 or 12 o'clock at night. But within an hour of the polls closing, they projected Susan Crawford, the winner, the liberal, the winner by 15, 16 points. Maybe it'll be less, maybe it'll be more, but she won. She just gave her acceptance speech. Schimmel already conceded the race. So all that work, all that money, Elon Musk, guess what? You lose again, motherfucker. You lost again. And I couldn't be happier. In fact, I'm personally considering the prospect of dancing around like a dipshit. I'm not too proud for that stuff. Now, every time I do a live, of course, I have a lot of help from a lot of people on the panel. And these two folks are always with me when I do these. They're kind of like my own personal secret service. See, I can't really do this and keep it going without people like Rebecca and TJ the plumber. Because as much as they offer some input on the panel, they're also moderators. And we have a lot of Trumplafucks that want to get through. And sometimes they can try to take things over, but not with Rebecca and TJ the plumber here. So they're a sight for sore eyes, and we got a lot of good things to talk about. So Rebecca, TJ, welcome.
Hey, Mike. Don't forget about JD Farmer. He's a mod too.
Is he a mod too? Oh, JD Farmer. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. He was just out there too, I think. I'll pull him up and we'll talk for a bit. JD, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. I was just talking to a fellow Gen Zer yesterday, I think, on the podcast. He's out in California. You're a
Right.
farmer in the middle
Yep.
of the country, and Jay is a Californian who's looking to move to Canada. Well, JD, what were your thoughts about what happened down in Florida? I think there were a lot of people that were disappointed by that, but I was not. I thought it was a win for the Democrats.
I was rather impressed, honestly. Um, you know, in 2024, Trump carried both of those districts by over 30 points. And
37, yeah.
yeah, there you go. And that margin is now cut by more than half. So,
By more.
well,
And just think about this. When did that cut take place? It's taken place. It's taken place since Donald Trump became president just 8, 10 weeks ago. So they
Exactly.
lost half their support in less than 10 weeks. And the horrible failures have just begun for Donald Trump. What's that going to mean in 2026? Fuck.
it's not going to be good. And
No.
and what people are, I've seen a lot of people on TikTok that are like, oh, Florida being Florida, they'll never elect a Democrat. Well, we turned those two very deep red districts purple, and that is not going away. I mean, the work that we did and the progress that's been made is going to stay there for 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. TJ, I was curious about your thoughts about what happened in Wisconsin. I was really more concerned and more hopeful of Wisconsin going liberal in the Supreme Court, and damned if she didn't do it. You had to be impressed by that.
I was. It definitely went better than I thought. I thought
Okay.
it'd be a little bit closer. I'm not particularly surprised about what happened in Florida, but I agree with JD about that sends a very strong message to the GOP. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed by what happened in Wisconsin today. It gives me hope.
It
for
wasn't
things.
even close.
No,
No,
no.
no.
It was like last I looked, it was like plus 15
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
The first time I saw it come across the screen, it looked like Schimmel was winning by about 12%, and I go, fuck. And then I look up and I go, oh, only 1% in. So
And-
I decided I'd wait it out a little bit.
And I take a particular amount of joy when Elon Musk loses money. So
Fuck that guy.
every time that happens, I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Elon Musk on TV someplace going, I don't know why people don't like me. I wore the fucking cheesehead hat. I don't know why people don't like me. I wore the fucking cheesehead hat. What more do I got to do? I gave millions of dollars. To be perfectly honest with you, Elon inserting himself in that race probably helped Susan Crawford win.
Yeah.
Not and hurt Schimmel's chances. He should have just stayed out of it. It probably would have been closer.
Yeah, I agree with you there for sure.
He spent $20 million on this race and lost it.
Well,
That's-
Yeah.
I think, Mike, remember a long time ago when we talked about, I used to say that when you got a Trump endorsement, it was the kiss of death. Remember when I said that?
Yeah.
I think that I'm starting to think that that's starting to rub off onto Elon from Trump,
Oh, I think Elon's worse than Trump at this point because even Republicans hate that motherfucker. I mean, with Donald Trump, you got the dumbest people in the world that still support him and will always support him. I think a lot of people blame Donald Trump's current problems on Elon. It's a way to point the blame someplace else. And as long as Elon's there, he's going to get the heat not only from the Democrats, but a lot of Republicans too.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm going to bring this person up, and she's always a live wire, if you will. She's ready. There we go. See Temptation in the house.
Hello,
What's
hello,
up, C?
hello. Happy Tuesday.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Well, first I want to give a shout out to the Senator Cory Booker. He did one hell of a good job. I mean, he had delivered the longest speech. I think it was like 25 hours and 5 minutes. I got to give that man a straight shout out. I mean, he did magnificent.
And you know what's ironic about this? A black man broke the record of Strom Thurmond, who in his own right was a racist motherfucker. And when he gave his 24 hours and 18 minutes of his filibuster, it was about preserving Jim Crow. So it's just desserts that Cory Booker, a black man, would come in and beat his record. I want to ask all of you something because I was going round and round with it on TikTok today. I was appreciative of Cory Booker going out there and making this effort. People said, "Do you think it'll make a difference?" I don't know if it'll make a difference. I'm just glad somebody's doing fucking something. But there were other.
I think he did make an impact though, because I mean he did at least he did something positive, and I was fired up when I was watching him.
Well, and the thing about it is there were other creators out there. I'm not going to give names because I don't argue with creators because I'm not impressed by creators, including myself. They were saying, "Oh, well, there's no bill. It's not really a filibuster. Oh, it's just performative." Yeah, we know, motherfucker. There's only so much we can do. Like we said, do something. Don't shit on Cory Booker. You try to stand up there for 25 hours and talk. Look, when I was a traffic reporter, we had this weird fucking policy that when there was a crash on the road and somebody died or something, I'd have to be on consistently every second, not take a break for the length of the cleanup and all that. And sometimes that would be 3.5 hours. And I got to tell you, talking straight for 3 hours, that's a motherfucker. I can't even imagine going 25 hours. So my hat's off to him for his stamina, his ability to be coherent. This motherfucker was coherent for 25 hours. Donald Trump can't be coherent for 26 minutes.
I do not know how he did it, but he did a very outstanding job. And let me tell you this, Mike, it was so many Trumpler fucks on that live, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they're nervous about it. I mean, what he did, what did he do? Well, he brought attention. He made some news. He got to talk about things that most politicians don't talk about. I don't care what anybody says. He did some good. He did something. And you can shit on him all you want, but fuck you.
Right. He stood up for what was right and told the truth and just say, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah, it was a good thing. What do you think, TJ, JD, Rebecca? What are your thoughts about Cory Booker?
I was extremely impressed with what I saw, and the fact that that man could talk that long, coherently, and with like a message that he, I don't know how you could go that long. I have no idea. Like I can barely talk for 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Even at the end, he was still well spoken and coherent and everything. I mean,
well, he did an interview with Rachel after he did it.
He did. Right.
I'd go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, he should have got him a nice dinner and went home, took him a hot shower, and went straight to sleep.
You know what the most intriguing thing to me about this is? I'm a man of a certain age.
Right.
And when my wife and I go out and there's a bathroom there, even if I don't have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to that bathroom just in case I'm at a place where there isn't a bathroom. I don't take any fucking risk on that.
I hear
go
you.
20. I want to know what the fuck he did for 25 hours without going to the bathroom. Was it a Donald Trump Depends? Was it a catheter with a bag? Did he just hold it? I mean, Jesus Christ! I can't. I have a tough enough time. I have a tough enough time getting through an hour and a half without having to go to the bathroom. So fuck, I don't know what he did.
No, you know what? Because I did caught a few clips of it in the middle of the night, though. I mean, it was some other people that stepped in and spoke. So I think during that time, that's when he had a chance to take him a break and go to the restroom and did what he had to do. So he didn't talk straight, though. I mean, during the night, he did take a little break.
Well, he took questions. I don't think he could leave the podium, though. I think the rule is you can't leave.
Yeah. That's
they had some questions from other people.
He might have just stepped away, when other people were talking, but But
No, they changed the rules. You can't move from there. Look, when Strom Thurmond did it, that motherfucker went to the bathroom. He had lunch at the cafeteria. He went 24 hours, but he had some breaks. But as I understood it, Booker could not take those breaks. He stood there and did it, and that was truly fucking amazing.
He said he did an interview, well, short one with Aaron Parnas right afterwards, and he said that he fasted for like 12 hours beforehand, and he didn't drink like hardly any water until close to the end.
Just that in itself has to be completely
That makes a lot of
Oh
sense.
my gosh, yeah, but that's he said that's how he made it that long without having to use the facilities.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, that is truly
That is
amazing.
very amazing.
that's enough to make you miserable right there.
I tell you what, when I sleep for 7 hours, I'm not a guy that runs, surprisingly. But when I get up after 7 hours, I'm walking real fast to the bathroom. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can't even comprehend how you do that.
Yeah,
It's like when and I mean, because I've been through that before. I fasted before myself. It's a mind thing.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of fasting. Again, that's probably a big surprise.
And it's like somebody said in the chat. It says there's dedication. That is correct. You're absolutely right. It's all about you have to have like a certain mindset.
Yeah, he's definitely committed.
One of the guys I work with will drive long distances together, we'll ride together. And it'll be hours and hours, and we'll stop at, whatever road stop on the turnpike or whatever it is. And he calls me the camel because we'll stop like 3 times and I won't use the bathroom. He goes, "Don't you have to use the bathroom?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm good. Let's keep going."
Wow.
Funny.
Yeah, that's not me. So, see, what do you think about everything included? The election in Wisconsin, the elections down in Florida, Cory Booker, some of the other shit going on. How you feeling about the Democrats now?
I was on another.
Positive?
I just got off another live just a few minutes ago, and somebody did announce though that they saw one of the Democrats did win. I wasn't sure what state, but when she made that announcement, I did felt like it was some sort of hope, because we need to do something to try to save our democracy and try to turn this thing around with Trump, because he's doing too much and it's just sickening. Then Cory Booker had announced though that he had froze the funding for for the research for Alzheimer's, and that I took that kind of personal because both of my parents died from that disease, and that's something really, really personal with me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I understood. There was a bunch of job cuts and funding cuts, and there was some kind of obscure department, and it turns out that department was all the programs for Alzheimer's. It's good to know there are no Republicans out there that suffer from that disease. It's fucking unbelievable. This stuff is going to come back and haunt them.
It is. I mean, and they're going to cut the CDC on top of that. It's like, we need to know what the hell is going on, because only thing it's going to do at the end is going to make people sicker. And, the people, they won't know what to do. And it's like, we're just stuck in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cutting Medicaid, somebody mentioned that, and that is true, and that's not right. That's not right. That's and then that's going to take an effect on the seniors and the people that are disabled.
Yeah. Well, I'm 65 in the middle of the month. I'm on Social Security. I'm officially now on Medicare.
Exactly.
You Trump fucks want to come take it away from me? Good luck, motherfuckers.
In other words, they don't want none of that smoke.
No.
They don't want none of that smoke.
What's that saying? If you don't want none, don't bring none.
Exactly. And like I say, what he's doing is just his level of toxicity. It's too much.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we'll see. Thank you for joining us. I got a bunch of people I want to get up here, but I appreciate you taking the time. It's always great to hear your voice. You always bring some energy to this thing, and I appreciate it.
Now, are you planning on doing a live, before the band is out, this week?
Yeah, I'll probably do another one. I don't know what's going to happen with the ban. To be perfectly honest, we haven't heard anything about it. I'm still going to be surprised if they shut it down completely. It just doesn't make any sense. But who the fuck knows in this world? JD Vance is in charge of for the administration, so we know if it can be fucked up, one of those clowns will fuck it up. So we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
But I'll
'cause
always do lives
video I
on
saw.
YouTube.
It was a video I saw last night though, talking about Elon Musk talking about buying TikTok. I said if he buys TikTok, I'm off of this bitch.
Well, even if he does buy TikTok, then everybody's going to leave anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely be off this bitch because I'm like no, because the only thing, like you said, the only thing you're gonna do is fuck it up.
Well, and whoever buys it, if they don't buy the algorithm, it won't be TikTok anyway. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, see, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, people, have a good night and you all stay safe.
All right, thank you.
Night, Z.
That is
Okay.
C Temptations. Always good to hear from her. Let's just talk. I only want to talk about it briefly because I'm almost to the point where I don't care. I mean, I do care about TikTok because of the amount of followers I have, and I have a certain responsibility to it. But it's kind of like this tariff things. We're going to shut it down. We're going to keep it up. We're going to shut it down. You get tired of the back and forth and the bullshit. What are you guys thinking about TikTok?
Sorry,
Yeah, don't all rush at once.
I was blocking somebody.
Me
Sorry.
too. I was blocking somebody.
And
So what are you thinking about this TikTok thing? Where are we going to be at in a few days?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. There's rumors going around that Musk is going to buy it. There's rumors going around that Oracle's going to buy it.
yeah,
There's another thing I heard about a new app that's out there called Skylight.
I'm
Yeah,
on
I heard
that.
about
It's
that.
really nice.
I haven't tried it yet. But if Musk buys it, I'm done. That's what I did with Twitter. I couldn't really figure out how to deactivate my Twitter, but I didn't really try very hard. But if Musk buys it, I'm out of here. That's the way
Well,
I feel about it.
You know what's interesting about that Skylight? I haven't checked it out as yet, but I'm going to. Skylight is interesting because somebody came out on TikTok and said, made a plea to Mark Cuban and said, listen, man, TikTok may be going away. Why don't you invest in something? Why don't you put something together? You're rich, you're a tech guy and all that stuff. And Cuban came back on TikTok and said, listen, if you can find some people who have the technical ability to use the AT program from Blue Sky, if you can find somebody to put something together that would compete with TikTok, I would invest in it. That's what Mark Cuban said. I saw on TikTok earlier today that they put together this Skylight and Mark Cuban has invested in it. So if there is an alternative, that seems like a likely possibility. So that's good to hear. Maybe there is some options down the road.
Yeah, I hope so.
It right now it's not as sophisticated as TikTok. Like I don't know if you can do lives yet or anything, but it's like every day when I go on there, there's something that they've improved. So I think if TikTok does go away, I really don't think it's going to take long for them to get it to the kind of sophistication that TikTok is at.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. I'm going to bring somebody in here. His name is Dean. We'll see what Dean has to say
Hey,
if he's
Bob,
ready.
how
Hey,
you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Dean. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I saw your little video about you going on Social Security and how you went to a restaurant and you got what the hell you wanted. How'd that feel?
Oh yeah, what he's talking about. My wife's out of town, and my
Yeah.
wife's in Cabo, and she's going, I feel bad. I'm going to Cabo. I got to leave you home alone. And I go, being home alone's not too bad. I get to do what I want. I get to go to eat where I want. I did it again tonight. I get to
Good.
buy things to eat that she wouldn't let me buy. It's not so bad, and it's going pretty smoothly, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm sitting here in the morning. I'm here all day. I don't leave till 4 or 5. I go get something for dinner and I come back. So I'm being lazy as shit doing TikToks and podcasts and going out to dinner. So my life is good right now.
Well,
Yeah.
it seems only fair if she gets to splurge in Cabo, you get to splurge at home, right?
Yeah.
Seems fair enough. Seems.
Speaking about Social Security, I waited till I was 70 before I started collecting because I had a good job making good money. So I get the
Yeah.
maximum. But anyway,
Well,
congratulations. Enjoy your retirement. Have fun. Go fishing. Do what you do because it's always fun to see you.
Well, I appreciate that, Dean, immensely. And you know, I told my wife when we turned 60, and I kind of essentially retired then, and my wife retired then. We're still doing other stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But when we retired, I said, honey, we're going to be lucky if we live another 20 years. So in
Yep.
these 20 years, we're going to do what we want, the way we want it, and fucking have fun. We deserve that after 60 years of toiling and struggling and juggling. We're just going to have fun. And that's pretty much what we're doing.
Unfortunately, I can't do that. As I told you quite a while ago, my wife had a stroke in June of 23, so she's in a wheelchair. It's not what I expected, but you know what? It is what it is. My love for my wife is unconditional, so regardless of what goes on, we're in it together. We've been married almost 43 years, so we're
Yeah,
together.
there you go. There's always a way to find some joy and enjoy life. And if you spend your time looking for things to enjoy, that's a lot better than looking for things to bitch about. And I'm sorry to hear about your wife's condition, but I know you're going to make the most of it. That's the important thing.
I'm trying. I'm trying really hard now. The weather's breaking. I'll be able to go fishing, for a couple hours, or take my motorcycle out for a short ride, then come back. But anyway, when I'm not here, my mother-in-law is here, which is wonderful. But I don't leave my wife's side. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No.
enough of me. And hello, everybody. You guys are great, and congratulations, Wisconsin. So Florida stayed red.
Yes.
It stayed
Shit.
red, but they cut their. Well, yeah, but the good news is that prior to Donald Trump taking office, he won those districts by 30 points, and they only won by 15 this time around. So
That's huge.
their strength has eroded quite a bit in just the 8 weeks Donald Trump's been in office. So that is huge, and that is good news.
Okay, Boomer, and everybody else, thank you very much. You can drop me and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Dean.
You
Thanks,
too,
Dean.
you too, Jane. Give our best to your wife and your mother-in-law as well.
Hey, speaking
yeah.
of the weather breaking, Studio B will be rolling out here pretty quick.
Presumably, but it fucking snowed here today. It fucking snowed in Minnesota today. Literally. My wife's in Cabo and she goes, how's it going? I go, it's fucking snowing. She goes, no, it's not. I just sent her a video. Yeah, it's snowing. Studio B will be coming as soon as we can get the boat out, presumably sometime late April, probably.
Well, it wasn't snowing here, but it was cold as fuck and really windy.
Yeah, yeah. Winter's over, but you still get these quick things that come in and annoy the shit out of you. All right, I'm going to pull somebody else up here, 75 for Corvette. She's come up quite frequently. Hey, how you doing today? What's on your mind?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm going out to dinner wherever I want. I'm on
I,
Medicare as of today.
I,
Fucking world's behind me.
I know I heard you bragging about that. That's a fantastic a little bit of man freedom you got there.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a good mood today, and I'm not going to yell at anybody, and I'm not going to be ranting because I'm so happy that I just watched 19 hours of Cory Booker filibustering on the Senate floor with the support of about 8 of his cohorts there in the Senate. And he
Yeah.
delivered messaging that was so important and so much needed for the American people to hear him explain those policies, give examples, use historical bases for all the civil rights movements to break a record of a freaking racist, Strom Thurmond, and to honor John Lewis. So it was a
Right.
good 24 fucking hours, let me say.
You know, the thing about it is when I was listening, I didn't put in 19 hours like you did. Well, I have a life. Not much of one, but I have a life where I couldn't do it for 19 fucking
Okay,
hours.
wow,
But
thanks for that hit.
but
I
but
took
here's here's the deal. Whenever I watched him,
Yeah,
it was like a segment I watched was like one of the best speeches I've heard. It was very authentic. It was very passionate. It was very informative. It
yep.
was very cohesive and coherent.
Well
And it's
thought out.
amazing that he could do that for that long. Yeah, he did an
Yeah,
incredible thing. He had
yeah,
something going for him, though, in
yeah,
doing this. While this was going on, people were emailing him or sending DMs or
yeah,
whatever, and they were bringing it up to him. So he was able to read these emails and these DMs and such while he was doing it. And that
right,
was incredible.
right,
It was real time interaction. And I
right.
think that had a big impact on what he was trying to do, too.
Absolutely. I mean, it was like a live filibuster, right? Like a live that we see on social media, but in the form of a political filibuster and following all the rules that he needed to follow. And then there were about 8 to 10 senators who stood there with him, not the whole night, but it seemed like in shifts, who asked him very pertinent questions and made statements that he could respond to and also expound on the problems that we're faced right now and what the whole point of him wanting to do this. And listen, none of us are stupid. Obviously, the man has visions of the future too, right? And this is a way to
Oh, yeah.
step out and put himself out in front of the Democratic, Party, and to be seen in a different light because he's generally seen as a very sort of staid individual, very calm, well spoken. I mean, the man's well educated. He's a lawyer. He's got all the credentials. But
Right.
this time he really put himself out in the forefront and stepped ahead of Schumer, by the way, thank God. And Dick
Yeah.
Durbin and Schumer were in the audience. And then Schumer's the one who announced it when he finally beat the record, on the filibuster and broke the 24-hour record. So Schumer got his 2 cents in there anyway. But
Well, ever since the November 5th election, we've been saying that some Democrats got to step up and
yep,
separate himself from the pack and
yep,
do something. A lot of people said, well, this didn't do anything. It did a lot. It was
so did.
inspirational. It was informative. And like I
And
said,
he
whether
had
you
four.
like what he did or not, the fact that he did something is more than what the rest of the Democrats are doing right now.
That's right. And while I watched it, because I was doing it for a political project that we're working on with a group to get the information to them, I picked it up and did my videos off of 4 different coverage, and 2 of those were the legacy media: CBS, NBC, NPR, Daily News, and then he had it on running live on his own TikTok account. So the estimate right now is that he had acquired at least 4 million views at any given time for any period from a couple of minutes to several hours of people watching and recording it. So he made an impact, and he's 55 years old. He's at the prime age to be a good candidate for the future and maybe unseat what nonsense Gavin has done and take him out of the running, right? Just be like, bypass that guy.
Well, he did his live on TikTok too, and I don't know if that was a record of 25 hours doing a live TikTok.
It
There's some
was.
fucking freaks out here that could do a whole week, but
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
were talking shit about him. Some creators were talking shit. Well, he voted against TikTok,
He did. They all
and
did.
now he's on TikTok. But what you have to understand about that bill with TikTok, there was other things stuffed in it
Yep.
that at the
Uh-huh.
time were more important.
Yep.
So he had to vote against TikTok in order
Yep.
to get something else that was more important at the time in. So to
Absolutely.
say he's a hypocrite, that's bullshit. That's
Well, they
just
were
fucking
all
political
hypocrites.
ploys.
Yeah. Well, technically, if you want to play that game, they were all hypocrites because they all voted against it, and including Biden, who said he wasn't going to veto it. So,
Right.
listen, that's old news already now, right? We're done with that.
Yeah, it is.
Anybody bringing that crap up now is just grabbing at straws. They got nothing solid to say. They have absolutely no ground to stand on. The man not only did he break a record, got out in front of the issues, explained things to people that they had no concept of in the policy area, and also went back and taught some history.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing that was interesting, that is truly amazing to me. Not only his stamina in this stuff,
Yep.
it was entertaining to watch.
It
I mean,
was
it was informative and it was
informative.
entertaining because he
Yep.
was passionate. To maintain that for that long,
Yep.
that's fucking crazy as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and to be so cohesive about it, as you pointed out earlier, I mean, and he went from one subject right, into the next one. He connected all the dots. He talked about McCain and about veterans. He talked about John Lewis and civil rights movement. He talked about the other the judge. I can't remember his name now. The Supreme Court judge. What's his name? Oh my God. Not Blackwell. Was it Black? Is it Blackwell?
No, 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 no.
No,
It was Thurman.
no, not Thurman. Strom Thurmond was the racist who voted
No, not
against.
Strom Thurmond. God. Why can't I answer this? I should fucking be
Yeah,
able to answer it.
I
He's
should
probably one of the
I should know it too.
greatest Supreme Court
Right,
justices.
most famous in the world, the first black Supreme Court judge.
You know
And
who would have got this um, um, after 24 hours? I
yeah,
guarantee you. I guarantee you, Booker would have got it. Here, I'm going to
Thurgood
Google this
Marshall. It
because
was
I'm
in the
Thurgood
pissed.
comments.
Marshall.
Thurgood
Thurgood
Marshall, right?
Marshall in the comments. Thank you, Dev Love.
And
Yeah,
I'm ashamed I didn't remember that. That's
yeah.
fucking dumb on my
Yep.
part.
Yeah. Me too. I agree with you. I should have. I just heard it too. It should have been in my memory bank. But he really covered a vast majority of the relevant history that relates to the policy that we're dealing with right now. The legislation that's on the table. He alluded to the Save Act as well, which got kiboshed today because they couldn't vote on it because he was filibustering, which was the whole point of it, right? Was to stop some of the voting and get some knowledge out to the public. And maybe the people out of those 4 million viewers that they're estimating saw him at some point in time during his filibuster get to their senators now and start making a big deal about this Save Act and all the other legislation that are trying to destroy the little bit of rights we have left.
Yeah. Well, they were really pushing the issue of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Yeah,
And they
yep,
say, oh, we're not doing that. But the fact is, they are attempting to do that. And
yes,
that message has to be delivered. And the people that just buy into whatever Republicans say, they need to
hear that.
understand what's going
Yes.
on. These
Well,
fuckers lie to you all the time.
that's one of the examples you brought up of him reading live DMs and emails when he started telling stories about the people that were going to be hurt by Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare being disrupted in any way or reduced.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he did a great job. I'm from New Jersey. I think I told you that before. He's one of my senators. So I was exceptionally proud for the reason that I've been disappointed in him and his previous performance. And I think he redeemed himself in the last 25 hours.
Yeah, no, I think he did a great job. I think that anybody that talks negative about him doesn't understand what the fuck's going on. And, when I first heard them talking negatively about him, oh, it's just performative. I'm thinking to myself, you're playing by the old rules here. 1990s, early 2000s, when politics was politics. Politics isn't politics anymore. Norms, rule of law, all these things don't play anymore. We
No,
look at how the Republicans won the November 5th election by being loud, obnoxious, and shoving this down your throat, carrying the narrative. We should take a note from their page, a page from their strategy book, and do the same thing. If that's what it takes to win in this country, then we
yes.
should be doing it. And that was a good effort by Cory Booker.
Yeah. I mean, and on top of that, the last point that I think is really being made here is that what Cory Booker was able to do in the last 25, 26 hours, because he's been off for a little while now, was that all the negative things that the media allowed the Republicans to do and make politics become the center of quote unquote entertainment on their right because their ratings is what's been driving the crap they've been doing all this time to flip it
Right.
around to get ratings for something that has a positive impact on society. People got an education. I'm telling you, he touched every important issue that's facing Americans today, and he made an impact, performative or not. He did it with ease and eloquence, and people will hear what he said. They have heard it, and there are clips being taken from that 25 hours, and even the major news networks are now posting those clips featuring some of the
Right.
most important pieces of his speech.
Well, I think the most important thing that needs to be taken from this today was kind of a big day for the Democrats because of Cory Booker, because of the good showing in Florida, because of the win in Wisconsin,
Yep.
because of the stupid shit that the Republicans are doing. But the Democrats have to understand you picked up just a little bit of momentum today.
Yeah,
We
run
got to
with
keep
it.
doing that momentum. What Cory Booker is doing should only be the beginning. There should be
Yes.
other Democrats stepping up, not necessarily doing a
Yes.
filibuster, but doing something, speaking out. Maybe some Republicans standing up. This is the momentum we're looking for, but we got to
Yes.
keep the momentum going, and we need more people getting involved and pushing that momentum.
Well, when the press put the mic in Mike Johnson's face today, when he had to dismiss the senators for the, because obviously they couldn't do what they were there for, he said, and three Republicans. And I've been searching on the internet to find out who the three Republicans were that stood with Cory Booker, because I haven't seen their names yet. And I'll say bravo to that we're making some headway, and that, yes, he is the beginning, hopefully, of a movement of rebellion and resistance and fighting back. It would have been great if the other senators that were there with him, and they were like Senator Warren was there, Markey was there, Schumer was there, Gillibrand was there, his good friend Murphy was there, Kim, the other senator from New Jersey, was there. There's about 8 to 10 of them. If they would have each taken a day, this could have really had an impact, and they just could have kept rolling it over and rolling it over. That would have been really fabulous.
Well, you brought up the House and Mike Johnson, and they were trying to stop a bill from giving proxy votes to members
Yes.
of Congress.
Yes.
And the reason they were doing that is because somebody might be having a baby or some other
Yes.
issue, and they wanted to be able to vote by proxy, which is something they've done in the past, but they wanted to stop that. And the Republicans were dead set against of continuing with the proxy vote.
Right.
But here's the thing. You said some Republicans went over to the Democratic side and stopped that. And what does Mike Johnson do? Mike Johnson gets mad because he doesn't win this one. Once again, another Republican loser. He gets mad. He folds his arms and says, all right, we're not voting on anything for the rest of the week. I'm just going to go home and doom scroll on Grindr because this is fucking making me mad.
I was going to say that same thing.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, that he's pouting now, and it's
Yeah.
ironic that Republicans will call us snowflakes, and that fucker's pouting in his cornflakes right now.
Yeah, no, he was definitely being a crybaby whiner. I saw that on one of my breaks that I took, and I was so happy to see him so annoyed because he literally
Yeah.
was just like stamping his feet, like wah, and
Yeah.
he didn't get his way. And he said, "Well, I had to send everyone home because this disrupted everything that was supposed to take place today." Well, la-di-da.
Well, it was pretty exciting today, but we got some more excitement tomorrow, and I'm curious what everybody thinks. Donald Trump has what tomorrow is Liberation Day, and
Oh, God.
it largely has to do with the tariffs, and he's going to lay out the plan because he's a fucking stable genius. He'll lay it out, and it's going to be nothing but a disaster. I want people, after that announcement that he makes, go right to the stock market and see what happens.
Oh,
Because every time he says tariff,
yeah,
fucking drops like a rock.
Yeah.
Now, for a period of time, he didn't talk about tariffs, and it did come back up a little.
it did.
Mind you, it was still 2,500 less than when he took over, but it did go up a little bit. Then he said tariffs 25% on cars, dropped 700 points.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm going to see if he follows through with it because he keeps backing off some of these things and he likes to push it to the limit because he's a tough guy and he thinks people are going to bend, but nobody's bending anymore. What do you guys
No.
think?
Well, how long can he keep up this charade? Because eventually, the Trump-la-fucks are convinced that these tariffs are going to, make America great again. It's going to create jobs in America, which we all know is absolutely the most absurd thing ever. But he keeps pulling back on it. And eventually, he wants nothing matters more to Donald Trump than looking good, right? So how long is he going to put on the charade of throwing it out there and then dragging it back? I think he's actually going to pull the trigger on it.
Oh, I
That's
do
what I
too.
think.
That's what he does. He doubles down until he goes off the cliff.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think he's doing it now. I think he's on a high. He's on an ego trip right now that he has literally watched himself a one-man tornado to the stock market. And that when he wants to snap his fingers, right? I mean, you would think it would be priced into the market already after what's been going on. But, goddamn well, tomorrow we're going to get hit again. And
Yeah,
a lot of people are going to get margin calls because it's been going way down, and people that were shorting it are making money, but anybody that tried to go long is getting killed.
Right. Well, like
but see, the thing about the Republicans I never understood this. I didn't think he'd really do it. Well, if you can't believe what he's saying, why the fuck did you vote for him?
Exactly. They contradict themselves, right? Because when he says something bad, the excuse they have is, oh, he wasn't really going to do it. He's only joking. Who jokes about serious shit like ruining the economy, right? But
Yeah,
when he
no
says
shit,
something,
no shit.
right? But when he says something they want to hear, like their racist hatred, and they want to deport everybody that isn't one shade lighter than a snow cone, they basically
Yeah.
want to believe every word of what he's saying. So this is it. They're cherry picking the parts that they want to believe because these people are so downtrodden. They truly are. The MAGA are downtrodden. And yes, some people are starting to say we need to feel sorry for them and we need to welcome them into our circles when they come to realization. I'm not welcoming anybody anywhere. If you come to realization, good. Make peace with that. You look what you did, look what you suffered for. Maybe now you've learned your goddamn lesson. That's how I feel about it.
Right.
Here I go yelling again. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to do that.
That's all right. Go ahead, TJ. You were going to say something, TJ.
Yeah, like I said a few shows back, I think it was a few lives back, the market volatility that Donald Trump has created by I'm going to do tariffs. No, I'm not. Like the market responds negatively to uncertainty. And
Right.
all this shit, like I mentioned a few shows ago, it really hurt me in my retirement. I lost a lot of money. And you know what? I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. The only way that they're going to understand that this is fucked up is when it hits them in the pocketbook.
Yeah.
And where this is headed right now, if he does pull the trigger and implement these tariffs, we're gonna head into a recession. Inflation is gonna be driven way up, and people's retirements are gonna get hit really hard. And that's the only language that they're ever gonna understand.
Yeah.
I heard
have
an
to get
interesting
hit.
data.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard an interesting data point yesterday.
Okay.
Remember when the Atlanta Fed predicted that the GDP would be negative 2.7? Remember?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, 2.8 is what they said. 2.8. They revised that now. It's now 3.7
Oh
negative.
my God! What a jump! Jesus Christ!
Yeah. That's
That's going to be devastating.
That's a direct indicator that we're headed to a recession.
Now, see, the issue
Oh.
between us and the MAGA is like what Plum just said. I can't see the rest of your name, or TJ, is that he said he's been killed. I've been killed in the market too. I'm not talking about my 401k. I'm talking about my private investing. Been fucking
Yeah.
slaughtered. Okay. The idea that some of it will come back, yes, but it's not going to come back to where it was.
Yes.
And the idea that those losses can't be made up by us is devastating. But can you imagine when you don't have any money at all? So you don't understand how that works because it has to go all the way down to the level of your literal groceries, have to be the thing
Yeah.
to make you understand what losing money means,
Right.
right? Because they
Yeah.
have no concept of the bigger economic pictures. And I'm not trying to degrade people because they couldn't save money over their lifetime to invest. I mean, I understand that. But I'm saying the difference between their thinking and ours is they never had anything, so they have nothing to lose until it goes down to the bare bottom of the barrel. And that's literally the groceries on their shelves.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
and that leads back to my point is that it's gonna have to go to that low
That deep. Yeah,
before they understand what they've done.
right. Because us telling them, listen, you don't understand. If you make they go, oh, we want the rich people to lose their money because they're fucking assholes, right? That's their attitude. It's like that part of we don't have it. We don't want you to have it either, right? So the idea that even
Right.
if you got a little bit more than them, you're still the enemy to them, right? So we have to lose everything we've worked for as well. And then we have to get down into the depths of despair about our savings, but we can still manage our everyday life. But they got to feel it in their everyday life. And now that starts to affect us both ways.
Right. And
You know,
if I have
go
to
ahead.
lose some money in my retirement to make these fucks understand what they've done, I'm okay with that.
Well, you're a bigger man than I
Yeah.
am.
How long
You
do
know
you think
what?
it's gonna take them though? Because they're all hanging on this fact that they're gonna get $5,000 back from Doge, and they're gonna,
Oh my god.
they really believe that shit's gonna happen.
Are you still
Yeah.
waiting on that shit?
Well,
Yeah, they're
somebody
still waiting on it.
Oh my god.
somebody in the comments made a really good point, and I'll have to paraphrase it because I lost the comment. But they basically said they want a king because they want someone to tell them what they should do. Because they are
Yeah.
so lost, they think that having a leader like that that's going to promise you, I'm going to make you better off because I'm going to tell you what you need to do to get there. It's kind of a sad statement, right? They don't understand how to dig themselves out of the problems that they have suffered, whether that be that their hands or not, right? Society isn't fair. We know goddamn well that's true. But the idea is that they wanted someone to save them, and he is not the one. He is not going to save them. He is not going to save anybody. He's not even going to save. Listen, he isn't even going to save Elon if he goes belly up. He ain't saving nobody.
No, I mean that's the
No.
thing. He has no intention of saving anybody. He's telling you he's saving you, but he's never saved anybody before. He's not going to save anybody now. I really think Elon is starting to hang by a thread because Donald
Yeah.
Trump doesn't like losing. With this situation in Wisconsin, with Elon going there and spending all kinds of money and still losing, Tesla going to shit. You can see that this is affecting Elon emotionally. This guy is not an emotionally strong guy, and
No.
this is starting to break him. You know, this little trick about taking Twitter and selling it to his AI company, that looks like a panic move. That looks like a move he's trying to
Yeah.
make to cover his ass when all the shit falls. And
And protect
Elon's
it,
in
maybe.
trouble right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Protect
maybe.
it. Yeah, maybe protected. But the thing here is Elon it does have a neurodivergent condition, and it's pretty well known, and you'll see it all over TikTok that there are a lot of people with autism who are experts in a lot of areas and have been really helpful to their communities, but they will say there comes a point when even the good things are too overwhelming for them, right? So imagine going down the rabbit hole of the bad stuff that's happening. He is not going
Yeah.
to be able to hold it together too much longer. And the drugs that he's using, D-rugs that he's using, like the K thing, aren't doing the work for him that they were. Eventually, you become immune to some of these things, right? If you over abuse them. So, listen, I'm not trying to plead his case because I don't give one rat's ass about Musk. But the idea that there's a very pointed issue you brought out. He is falling apart at a rate higher than the average person would have because of what he suffers from. And hopefully that will bring things to a head. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things happening. Like one of his baby mamas was on the news trading in her $100,000 Tesla because he decided to cut her child support. Yeah, I mean he's getting hit from every side. And the funny thing is, I see him on TV, and he literally does not understand why people don't like him. He doesn't understand why Tim Walz is being a jerk by saying and laughing about his stock going down. He does not get it. That is so classic narcissist. Everything I say, everything I do is perfect. They don't pay attention to what people really think.
His
He's
like
he's
crybaby
crashing.
ranting, that crybaby ranting about Tim Walz, like
Yeah.
talking about him, is so hysterical.
It's hilarious.
Like, literally crying
Yes.
about how can somebody
Yeah.
do that to another person? How
Yes.
can you make fun of that? It makes you such a horrible
They're
person.
so
to do that.
mean.
I was laughing so hard I almost peed my pants.
But the part
And
about
what-
that reaction from him is that is what is wrong with narcissists. He's not just, that's not an act. He truly
No.
believes that.
I know,
He does.
but that's what makes it so freaking
Yeah,
funny.
he
Yeah,
truly believes that he's a victim, even though he's done almost the exact same thing in almost the exact same way on a stage with a chainsaw,
Chainsaw. Yeah.
talking about
Oh.
slashing people's lives and their jobs and their life. So he has no concept and there's no connection between the two things because narcissists don't have empathy. It's impossible for them to have it.
He said that. He said the problem with America is the problem with the Democratic Party is, or the left rather, the problem with the left is all the empathy.
Yeah.
He said that.
Yeah, he said
He said
empathy.
empathy.
that.
Yes, he said empathy.
He said
would
empathy is a weakness.
be a weakness.
Yes.
Yet he's on TV now begging for fucking empathy.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I mean it's almost comical in a way, as Rebecca was saying, because you think to yourself, what normal person could even conceive of saying such a thing after the behavior that you've displayed?
Right. He doesn't get it. He literally doesn't get it. I've watched him. He does not get it. He
No.
thinks why can't you people believe I'm the Messiah and that I'm doing everything right? That's what narcissists do. They're just flummoxed by the fact that you can't see their greatness
Yeah.
while they're kicking your ass.
Yeah, the guy who went from $400 billion nearly down to 200 because he got his ass kicked, and now he's the same guy who's taking regular families and firing them from the government so that they can't feed their families because he only has $200 billion left.
Well, that was one of
Right.
But why would they care about that? That's not. They're not consequential to him. Why does he care? Why would he care about what he did to those people?
exactly, and that's one of the points that Cory made when he was talking about Social Security. He said that these billionaires want to take away the lousy $1,000 or $1,200 that someone is literally surviving on, and they have
Right.
nothing else. That insignificant amount of money to them is the whole world to the other person, and that is what you're going after. That is how you're going to build your millions, off the backs of impoverishing grandma and grandpa and your auntie and your mom and yourself eventually, right?
Right. Well, this is what I've said before. Wealthy people don't want a lot of money. They want all the money.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going for. They want all the fucking money. That's what they want to do.
They're gonna get upset over, like, Elon Musk makes $8 million a day off the government, whereas the average recipient of Social Security makes $64 a day.
Yep.
So they're gonna get
Right.
mad at Grandma Betty for taking $60 a day and not point the finger at Elon for taking $8 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the hypocrisy of the right. It's their
Get real.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, 75 Corvette, thank you for coming on. I'm going to bring some other people on. I appreciate it. It's always good to hear from you. You're always
Great.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night. I'll
All
see
right.
you in the comments. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question about government efficiency.
Yeah, I'm the good one to ask.
So, all this investigation of waste and fraud, how efficient is it to spend $26 million on Donald Trump's weekend golf outings since he's
In
been
8
president?
weeks.
In 8 weeks.
Yeah.
$26 million. What is that, like
20
60 years worth of presidential salary?
Yeah, we're saving a lot of money on that. Not to mention all the deportation on the military planes. It's just been fucking ridiculous. And then, of course, the story comes out. And this is what I've always said about Trump-la-fucks. They fuck up every day. They're fuck-ups, and they fuck up every day. They put a bunch of people on a plane, send them to a horrible prison down in El Salvador. One of those people had protected status, was not part of a gang, was married to an American, and has a 5-year-old American child. They put him on a plane. They send him down to El Salvador to this horrible jail, this prison. And then they acknowledge, oh, yeah, we fucked up. It was a clerical error. Well, so go get them back. It's kind of hard. El Salvador has it. So they're willing to sacrifice one human's lives, the family's lives, just because they fucked up. And they aren't willing to try anything to fix the fucking thing. It's
don't
appalling.
care. They don't care.
And they spend And they're spending millions of dollars to keep these people in this El Salvador prison. Again, where's that money coming from?
I certainly hope nobody else ends up as an admin error. That's for sure.
Well, and the thing about it is people will say, well, I'm white, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm not brown. But here's the thing. If they get away with something like this, who's to say, well, there's a Democrat talking mean things about Donald Trump. Maybe we'll load them on a plane. They didn't do anything about stopping us then. Or maybe they'll take somebody who's not Christian or not Christian enough or not the right kind of Christian. When people do things and they infringe on people's rights, because everybody has the right to due process, those people, whether they were criminals or not, didn't get due process. Now, I can't remember who said it. Was it Pam Bondi or something? They said, this is what was said. Well, if they're guilty, they aren't deserving of due process. Well, how the fuck do you know if they're guilty unless you put them through due process? Fuck.
Yeah, she's a dunce. She's
She's absolutely.
Did you guys hear today that she wants to pursue the death penalty for Luigi Mangione?
I saw it.
I said, good. Let's whip that shit up again. Let people get pissed off about rich people again. That's a good move.
Make him a fucking martyr.
Yeah.
I did bring up one thing about Pam Bondi when I was describing her when I did a TikTok about the Luigi thing. I think a lot of people don't understand that she was the model for a new kids present coming up this Christmas. She is the model for Meth Barbie, so that should be good. Jesus Christ, that's one scary looking woman. Let's pull somebody else up here, somebody I can relate to. She goes by the name of Granny. I happen to be married to a granny, so hopefully she's ready to talk here. It's not my granny, but it looks like they're a little shy here, so we'll try something else. But yeah, this is the thing. Oh, I don't want to do this.
You do. Come
just
on.
do it.
Bring them up.
All right.
Hey, John.
All right. Hey, John. I was questioning whether to bring you up because we're still a little early on in the show, but then I thought, well, it'd be a good time to take a bathroom break, a la what Cory Booker didn't do. What's on your mind, British John? And be careful.
If you're gonna do jokes about that particular flavor of Barbie, why am I even here? I mean, you're using my material at this point.
I never heard you. I did it on a TikTok this morning, for fuck's sake. I don't steal jokes.
I'm trying
that
to.
I know of.
My version was, and I didn't go after it directly. Was Pam Bondi says if you set fire to any tea-flavored electric vehicles, that is domestic incitement, which means that all of the Tesla showrooms have been converted to Target stores.
I heard you do that joke. I like that joke. That's kind of good.
Hey, Mike, John's getting pretty good with his words here.
Yeah, you're being cautious. Sounds like the wife talked to you.
So with responsibility, with power comes responsibility.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And in the last week or so, my follower count has gone up significantly, and the amount of comedic content I put up has gone down, and that's for a good reason.
That's
don't get me wrong, I have not lost my capability to be an asshole. I'm just not using it right now.
So you got to rest now and again.
So let me be serious for a minute. You just spoke about it, and it's a perfect segue. And I'm going to pin myself a little bit. So I put out a video this lunchtime. I actually recorded it 3 or 4 days ago, but I wanted to edit it and spend a bit of time on it, thinking on it. And specifically, it's about deporting people that shouldn't be on the list, people with green cards, people with protected status, because we're seeing it. And I wanted to collect as many pieces of data before I put something out. So for those of you that know, I'm an ex-British intelligence person.
Right.
And I'm very careful with my choice of words to describe what I do.
Today.
Most of you don't.
Today.
Well, no, I mean in comedy terms, I'm not. But I'm a former military intelligence hacker,
Right.
and I just worked with good people. And so don't leave nasty comments in my things because if I'm having a bad day, so are you. Now I put this video up, and the outpouring from it has been the DMs I've been receiving today have been heartbreaking. People whose visas have been cancelled before they got over here, marriage-based ones, family reach-out ones. It's truly heartbreaking to see these messages, and so I've been very serious in it. I think there's one joke in it. Like, you have to document these things. You have to be your own lawyer. If you're living here in America, I'm not, so I don't think I've said this publicly. I can't leave the US right now. I've just canceled a trip to Japan.
Yeah, good point.
I was advised by my former, for want of a phrase, handler, not to leave, as if I have problems getting back, they can't help me. There's no special favors anymore. And trust me, there used to be special favors. So this week, so on Sunday, I have retained an immigration lawyer. I never needed one to begin with, but I now have one in case something happens, because I have no intention of going quiet. I know what bullies are, and I'm better at it. I just don't have the powers of the government. Yet, I'm working on that. That's a plan. But anyway, as soon as the anchor baby can run for president, I'll be fine. Because 27 years away from that right now. But,
well.
But no, I got advised not to leave, and so I now have contingencies for if I'm taken into custody. But also, because of what I used to do, I also have plans to come back illegally. I will only be gone for 2 weeks. And I'm not going to tell you how I'm coming back, because that would be stupid to do when there's 542 people watching. But I'd be back in California within a couple of weeks. Now I have a privilege because I look like I do, and because I have money. But if I could ask all your people watching right now, this is a serious threat. We've had people denied entry into the country. We've had all these people's visas. They are culling 300 green cards a day. Marco Rubio is on the record as saying they are killing 300 visas a day. So you may know somebody who is in this country as let's call it a permanent visitor, or an investor in the community. Then MLP, you're a wonderful person. Then please go to my thing, my page, and watch the video. It's got a picture of Trump wearing a nice hat. Please watch that and forward it to anybody you know who is not a U.S. citizen, because there's real information in there, like who you can't afford an attorney, who the organization is reaching out to. And I should do a joke. It's getting a bit dry, isn't it, boss?
It's a little dry. It's a little dry. I will say this. My wife is in Cabo right now, and I'm glad I've never had her on TikTok on the podcast, because while she's as white as can be and all the way a citizen, if there was some hassle that could be had coming back into the country when she comes back, I'm sure the Republicans would attempt it. So thankfully, nobody knows who she is.
I have no doubt at all. I'm just writing the. So look, you need a little bit of flavor. So while I was waiting to come up, I've just written tonight's episode of The American Experiment, and it does start with Trump is shitting himself, and it's not Wisconsin's cheese delivering military-grade lactose intolerance. It's Wisconsin defying his and Elon Musk's attempt to buy the state Supreme Court. And when you look at the margins that they lost in Florida, the amount of money that was spent on this, this is not the America I fell in love with. But I will say this. I will say this. I never wanted America to be great again, because it always was. I got to choose to live. I got to choose to make my life here. and this is a difficult period, but it is still the place I would come to in a heartbeat. And it's where I choose to raise my daughter. Because, well, respectfully, this is California. And we're kind of insulated from a lot of the crazy. But
I'm curious, John. Your Governor Gavin Newsom, after the November 5th election, he seemed to be the odds-on favorite to be the nominee in 2028, which I said is ridiculous because it's too far in advance. Too many things could fucking happen. We don't know who that could be. Now it could be Cory Booker. It could be Chris Murphy. It could be anybody. It could be Kamala again.
Yeah, right.
When Gavin Newsom did those podcasts, and he kind of fucked up with having Charlie Kirk and some of the others on and playing nice with them. That really went bad for him, for Gavin Newsom. And I think a lot of people fell off of Gavin Newsom. Don't you agree with that?
I do. Whoever was advising him, whoever decided to help him with his brand strategy, needs to go to LA and play with some of the asbestos that's flying around. Because that is, by all means, go to the center. By all means, go to the center. But if you're going to play with Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon, for God's sake, clown them. I mean, it's not hard to do.
Yeah. I had a guy on my show who was not a Trump humper, Larry, good guy, but he didn't like Joe Biden prior to the election. And here's what I've learned a lesson, and some creators have learned this lesson too. When we're in this climate, with the way the Republicans are, you don't have to bend over for the competition and be polite, but you have to go the other way. If you're going to sit down and talk to them, you got to go after them. You got to be tough. You got to be strong. And whether your candidate is good or not, don't go against them. This is you're with us or against us type of thing. And if you say, well, I don't like Donald Trump, but I think Joe Biden sucks too. If you say that, you're going to get crucified. And the same thing with Gavin Newsom. You got Charlie Kirk, the biggest fucking goof in the world. If you don't go after him, people are going to hate you for it.
So my advice to Gavin Newsom and Shapiro and to these other, and I will say they are the intellectual heavyweights in the party. I would say don't engage with those people. What I want to see you do, and where you'll find the TV cameras are going to follow you wherever you go. It will happen. Go into West Virginia, go to Kentucky, go to the solid red places, and I want you to meet with the community. And I want you to hear the pain that the people didn't vote for Trump because they thought it was a good idea. They did it because they've been felt slighted by the government for a generation. Okay, for all the things we said we're doing to help them, they clearly weren't feeling it. They were seeing other people being successful, and it wasn't them. Okay, and they needed somebody to blame. And this guy with orange skin and red hats, said, "I will be your cudgel," and they all went, "Hell yeah!" I mean, that's why Trump won. He didn't win on policy. He won on, I hear you, and I will be your vengeance because you're not getting what you deserve. And if Newsom and this generation of leaders would go into those communities and engage, do town halls and listen and listen and listen, and then finally maybe respond, that would actually build a better message. And not only that, the Democrats actually have to put together policies and start talking about them now, not in the last 12 weeks. They need to start talking now about what they will do to improve these people's lives. Elections, if you do it right, the election is won before it starts. And it's really weird for a British person to be saying all these things.
Right. Well, the Democrats have to take what they have been doing for the last 40 years, throw it out the fucking window and do something different. They really have to do that. We've learned some lessons over the 2016 and the 2024 election, and we should take note of it and decide what we're going to do. In spite of the economy under Biden, it looked good for a lot of people. The middle class and the poor people, they weren't feeling exactly what John is saying. We've got to give them some reason to believe that they will get some help down the road. And then the Democrats actually have to step up and give them some help. That's what they need to do now. It's just a matter of whether the Democrats have the wherewithal to actually pull that shit off.
I don't believe in populism. I come from a country that is going through full-blown nihilism right now because it embraced populism. That's how Brexit happened. But
Yeah.
you have to meet the people where they are. And I don't just mean physically, I mean you have to meet them where they are financially, culturally, and politically. You have to be there. People aren't going to move that far to the left or that far to the right. You have to meet them where they are. And by the way, the Democrats really need to step up their investment in the places where they do have power, because we're losing population, and
Good point.
we're gonna lose House seats, and at that point, there's just no coming back from that. Don't get me wrong, I'm fine losing neighbors. I really don't like people, but this isn't the way it should happen,
Right.
or on that kind of scale. I'll leave you with this, if I might. On the 5th, please go to handsoff2025.com. Find out where your nearest event is. It's no longer a protest. You take Wisconsin, you take the improvements in Florida, and you turn it into a celebration. Okay?
Right.
I'm actually going to LA
Good
for
point.
the weekend for some family stuff. I will be in Ventura. And we will celebrate this. Okay? You do not have to set fire to Teslas. If you leave them alone long enough, they do it on their own anyway. Okay, so
That's right. That's a good point.
don't do anything to Cybertrucks. They will fall apart at highway speeds. There's plenty of video evidence. All right, you don't have to help them.
Right.
Just saying. Sorry, some humor.
Well, British John, I appreciate you coming on.
God bless.
And-
Please go to my page and please share the Trump video about immigration to everybody. By the way, you're not helping me with money. Every penny I make on TikTok goes to the Marin Food Bank in San Francisco. They are feeding 80,000 people a week right now, 56,000 families. And that number is going up with the cuts that are being made. So I'll make my own money, but please go to me, follow me. I'm hanging out here deliberately so you can all hit that plus button. I'm going to drop my name into the comments for those people with an iPad to make it easy for you. Yes, I know how this is done. And please share that Trump video and immigration. You'll be helping people you don't even know.
Absolutely. Thanks, British John. I appreciate it. And thanks for behaving.
How
That was
many
nice.
warnings do we have?
None.
Oh, whoa. We're on top tonight.
I feel
We are on
bad
top
at this
tonight.
point. Hold on, let me find something. Can I just apologize with my shirt, sir? It's unacceptable. I turned my video on, but I just got back from Texas, and all the wire hangers are illegal there now.
Oh, wow. I got to go. Oh, look at the time. We're getting down to the later stages here, but I want to get some other folks up here. Okay, we're going to put Old Soul up.
Ooh,
Oh,
a special guest.
She no doubt has an update. We're getting shorter on time, Old Soul, but I wanted to get you up here because I'm sure you had an update of some of the many things that you're involved in. So welcome, Old Soul.
Yeah, thank you. I can't stay too long because I'm working off of like 2 hours of sleep from the day before yesterday. So if I don't sound like myself, that's why.
You're doing better
You
than
sound a
Cory
little.
Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiresome. But we're doing the hands-off protest organizing right now, which is what the last gentleman just said. So that's what we have our hands on this time. I just wanted to ask if you guys saw what Mike Johnson did about the proxy vote.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Did you have?
What a
He's a
I don't know
bitch.
if you have any thoughts on that or not. It's crazy.
He acted like a child.
Yeah.
like a little bitch. He threw his little temper tantrum, and
I never
He's a
thought that I would
snowflake.
be on. Yeah, I never thought I would be on Anna Paluna Loomer's side of anything, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, that's crazy. But I didn't know if there were any pregnant women in Congress right now. Maybe one or two, right?
There could be. There could be. Apparently, they wanted the proxy voting, and the Republicans don't like it.
Yeah.
Did anybody hear? I heard something. I heard this on TikTok when we're talking about Wisconsin's Supreme Court vote. That had to get you pretty excited, old soul. But I heard there
Yeah.
were some power outages and shit like that, some sketchy shit going on. Anybody else hear about that?
Yeah,
Nothing
I
sketchy
did
happened.
today.
Nothing
Yeah.
sketchy happened. She won, and that's it.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm like behind on some of like the videos and stuff that you made, but you knew about that 1 billion that they cut from the food banks. Did you guys see where they didn't allow the trucks of the food to go to the food banks?
No,
Yeah, that was a
no, I
big
didn't
thing in
know that.
Ohio.
Yeah, so they
You were
had
asked about it, yeah.
yeah, there was like 20 trucks with like loaded of food that was going to the food banks, right? And Elon Musk was like, no, you can't deliver the food to the food banks. And as a result of that, all of the food that was supposed to be delivered, it expired. Or it
Oh,
spoiled, or
wow.
whatever. So the people didn't get the food. So I thought that that was wasteful, and I didn't understand why people wasn't talking about it. But to me, that was just cruel to do that,
it
especially
is.
right now when
It is
they're
cruel.
taking
It is
people's
cruel.
benefits and jobs. Yeah.
It is cruel to do that. And last month we have a monthly meeting. I'm the council president for the construction trades in my
Yeah.
area, and last month we had our monthly meeting at the beginning of the month, and we suspected that people, given the climate of what's going on, that people will be harmed. We donated extra money to the food bank because we figured that something would happen,
Hmm.
and lo and behold, it did.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we preemptively, unbeknownst to us, that this was going to happen, we did it ahead of time because we figured there's going to be needy people because of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
Pennsylvania and
see that one
Ohio were
coming.
hit particularly hard with this. Like there's, I mean, we live in this area, so I'm sure there's other areas that were just as bad. But a friend of mine posted in Lehigh, Pennsylvania, there's a huge food bank that is closing its doors,
Yeah.
and they didn't get the food that they needed that was routing on trucks. Ohio is really bad.
Yeah. It's rough out here. Well, it's like we're in Vegas. It's really, really rough out there. And so in my community, we have, like some elderly and disabled people that we're feeding, but it's just like us. And I don't really know what these people are going to do because our resources are like thin as it is. What they're going to do when they're not allowed to have food delivered to the food banks, and I don't understand the point of that. So I was asking, like, I continue to ask people, like, if you have a neighbor, you can like drop them off a meal or invite them over to eat, anything like that to help them because literally this administration is saying you cannot give food to hungry people. You can't do it. We don't care. Stop it. I don't get it, but if you know someone that needs to eat, please just help them out because and even seniors because some of them have medications that they have to take with food, and if they don't take it with food, it's not safe or healthy for them to do so. So I was just going to ask if you could give someone a meal or two, or if their child is not able to afford food at school and their parents can buy them food at home, like try to make a lunch for them along with your children when they go to school.
I
Absolutely.
know.
Trucker
I
T
know
is
it's
saying they're gutting Meals on Wheels too, which is fucking
Yeah,
abhorrent.
I deliver for Meals on Wheels. That's fucked up.
How do these
yeah,
people live with themselves? How do they sleep at night doing all this shit?
They don't
that's a
care.
good
They
question.
I know that
honestly don't care.
I know that it's generally a no-no for restaurants and and the like, that anyone that serves food, grocery stores, restaurants, to when they're throwing out food that's going to expire but it has not yet, they're not really supposed to like donate it or get. Just freaking do it now. Do it. Like, just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
old soul,
I
thanks for
had
coming on. You sound like you need some rest, though. I've never heard
yeah,
you sound like this.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I need to sleep. I had one more thing about if you guys saw the girl in Georgia that was arrested for
Yep.
improperly disposing of a body.
Yeah.
I think that maybe the left is afraid to talk about it because she put her baby like in a dumpster instead of talking about the impossible predicament that we are putting women in. So it's like if you're having a miscarriage and you go to the hospital, they're going to tell you you're not like sick enough yet, come back. If you have a baby at home, then they're going to accuse you of all kind of stuff. But then you have a stillborn child and you're sitting here and you're like, what do I do with a stillborn? I couldn't go to the hospital. I couldn't call an ambulance. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And I was talking to a couple of the girls that I keep in contact with, and it was so sad. Like a majority of them was like, well, why she didn't just bury it in the backyard? And I had to let them know that's not the point of this. The point of it is she shouldn't have had to have delivered a stillborn in the first place, let alone do it at home. That's the whole point that I think people are missing, but I think people on the left don't want to talk about it because she disposed of the baby in the garbage when they should be talking about why was she in this situation in the first place. It's
I think
crazy that they're steering away
the
from this type of conversation.
fetus was 19 weeks. Was that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
And she
and
had a stillborn. Like they knew that the baby was not alive. But they were like, yeah, we know you're carrying a dead baby. You're going to have a stillborn, but there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put
Anyway,
people in
those is my
impossible
things.
situations.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say so I could get some sleep. And please feed somebody if you can. It's so sad to me that people can't eat. I don't know how to take that because it's really, really sad that they're doing that. I wish I could feed everybody. I really do.
Yeah. Well, Old Soul, thanks for coming on and get some rest. Hopefully, we'll get you back next week. I know you're kind of booked up this week, but get back as soon as possible. People always look forward to hearing from you. So
Thank
thanks
you.
for showing
And
up at
hands
the
off
live.
rally on the 5th, Saturday. Hands off rally. People don't miss it. It's going to be good. All right. Good night,
Absolutely.
guys.
Thanks, Old Soul.
Thanks.
Yeah. I give Old Soul, she's younger than me. She could be my daughter, but she works hard, man. She's always going after it and putting in a lot of work. A lot of people are inspired by her. So I got somebody else coming up here as we're in the later stages of this thing. It's DJ Fly Guy. You know what, DJ Fly Guy? That's the name. That's the name I was going to take until I decided on Rational Boomer. So enjoy it.
Hey man, you said it perfect, dog. You said I told you we think on the same level, man. So you said it perfect. you
I,
you would have done it some justice. I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah. I would have got some shit, but anyway, what's on your mind tonight?
Man, bro, listen, let me tell you something, man. So check this out. Now, I was saying this, like I've been saying this since Donald Trump first ran in 2016. What I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
For white tea people that voted for Donald Trump, you have people like Boomer, Red Crown, Ange, April. You have some really good white tea people that are asking y'all not to do this.
Yeah.
They're giving y'all a fair warning. They're giving y'all a fair warning saying, let's not do this. It's fine. We cannot love Joe Biden. We cannot love Democrats. We cannot agree with everything. But this we don't want to do. We don't want to do this. You have these people asking you not to do this and trying to be respectful at the same time. But when you do stuff like this, like you have to call out the elephant in the room. You have to call out the racism. So, but they're asking you not to do this. for
Yeah, I tell you what, for 4 years I've been talking this, and a lot of people have been talking this for 4 years, and it still amazes me how I can sit across from somebody I even know, and they'll say, "I like Donald Trump." What are you, fucking stupid? I mean, we've seen what we've seen, we've heard what we've heard, and you still support this? Either you're not paying attention or you're an evil motherfucker yourself. It's frustrating that people can't get it through their minds.
yeah, when we know all along, man, that this country built us up on one thing. I had one hope in this country, and that was pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah,
That's the hope I
absolutely.
had. That's the hope I had in this country. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, word. That's what's up. I work for mine,
Yeah.
and I work for mine, and I work for mine, and I do what I'm supposed to do for mine. But it seems like they come after me more than they go after the people that's really got the money.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's fine to say pull yourself up by the bootstraps, but what good is that if they cut you off at the fucking knees? And that's exactly what Elon and Donald Trump are doing. They don't want people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. They just want to marginalize and destroy people they don't like.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps is like a double entendre. Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right. It's got the two meanings. That the Democrats, like when we say we pulled ourselves up by the bootstraps, it means that we worked hard and we earned everything we had. When the Republicans talk about it, it means that we're not going to give you any help. We're not going to give you any assistance. If you need us, we're not going to be there for you.
Yeah,
Do it your damn self.
they want to strangle you with your bootstraps.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how's it going for
Yeah,
you,
they
DJ
don't. They
Fly
don't.
Guy? You getting by all right?
They don't want to. Yeah, yeah, boom. I'm good, man. I'm still working faithfully every day, and
Good.
um. So yeah, man. I'm doing good. My you remind me of one of the guys that I work for. I'm here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he's a decent guy, but I still
He's
I
all right.
know. Yeah, he's all right, but I still know the time he came up in. He came up in a different time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can still hear it in him, like, but
Well, I tell you this, DJ Fly Guy. I had been a supervisor in the past. I hated doing it. I don't like being a supervisor. But in my current state, you would like working for me because, like I have told my granddaughter, we have this little running thing going. Grandpa only has one rule. They ain't no fucking rules. We do what we want. So I'd be the right guy to work for.
Please tell me that your
this guy,
4-year-old granddaughter does
no,
not say that.
this guy that I work for, I'm gonna tell you how cool this dude is, Boomer. When I first moved, uh, back in '07. Like I used to go to this corner store like maybe two, 3 times a week because it was so close to the house. And he said, just come on and go to work, man. I never filled out an application for that place. The
Wow.
only thing I filled out, the only thing I filled out was my W-2. That was it. He never
Wow.
asked me for, he never asked me for an application. I never filled one out. He just said, come on up here and work. And I worked for him for like 4 years while he had the store until he sold it. And now, at night, my third job is I clean up because he owned a car wash. So, he owns a car wash.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll stop by and I'll clean up the car wash. He pays me for that. And tonight he was trying to give me some advice on, how to do my taxes and stuff or what I need to take out because it's my third job. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
you remind me of people like that. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I get from you. I get that fair, good, genuine, like, you know, like And I know you of a different. I know you of a different background. You know what I mean? But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, yeah, I still and but there's one more thing I want to say before we go on, Boomer. Uh,
Yeah.
to the black Trump supporters, I swear you got to feel like the dumbest fucking people on the planet.
Yeah.
I watched.
Because I'm gonna tell you this, and this is what I've been saying since the beginning of Donald Trump's run. You have people that look like him that can take advantage of this move right now. They do not have to stand up against Donald Trump at all. I'm talking about educated, successful people, not broke people, not people that's just out in the streets drinking and not out of their fucking mind. I'm talking about legitimate fucking people with bread, with common sense, with empathy, and they telling you this is not the guy. But
Yeah.
you come up on their lives and you try to convince them otherwise. You got to feel like the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. Because listen, let me tell you something. When all this fun and games is fucking over with, all the jokes, all the back and forth and all that bullshit. Yeah, I'm a black Trump supporter and la this and let me fix my bow tie and let me do it. When you stop motherfucking, when this shit is over with, just remember that you were warned.
Yeah.
But
I
you vast in that moment of fucking glory to help destroy your fucking country. And you got people
Yeah.
up here that's telling you not to do it. And you still
Yeah.
fucking did it.
Yeah.
So
I won't let them forget. I won't let them forget all these people that when Donald Trump takes a dive and he's a pariah, they're going, yeah, I didn't really like him. No, you did too, motherfucker. I don't care if you're black or white. If you support Donald Trump, you're a dumb motherfucker. Just you have to be. And I'm being nice by saying you're dumb because the only other option would be you're evil. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're a fucking idiot. I agree with you, DJ.
DJ, I watched a video the other day, and it was probably about. I think the interview happened about 2 weeks ago, and it was a white reporter interviewing 6 black men that voted for Trump, and he was asking them questions about whether or not they are happy with what is going on now, and half of them said, oh yes, he's cutting, they're cutting all this wasteful spending, and and the other
Yeah.
half were like, no, I'm not, no, this is not what I thought I was voting for. And it was actually a fairly enlightening video that I watched.
yeah, but
Well,
you know, we have to learn, just like Boomer said, like we got a lot to learn from that from the last 8 to 12 years of experience. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We got a lot to learn from that shit. So
Mhm.
that damn showing you half and half that we split, that they interview more than 5 people. So their percentage was way
Well, I'm sure
higher
it
than
was
that. Yeah, yeah,
skewed
yeah.
like
So
everything else, but
yeah, we ain't getting sucked into that bullshit. We're not getting sucked into that. They fucked up, plain and fucking simple. They fucked up. This is not the fucking guy to get this job done. He has no clue how to handle real fucking business. What he want to do is he want to get in, make the money from the excitement, and then when it starts to fall, you pull out. He's done it over and over and over and over a fucking again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking definitely frustrating. Well, DJ, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And you're saying that you work 3 jobs. I'll be honest with you. In this country, a young man shouldn't have to work 3 jobs just to fucking survive. But God bless you for doing what you have to do. And I hope things get better with the country. And as you get older, things get easier because it's not
Yeah,
easy
well,
doing 3 jobs.
yeah, boom, I appreciate it, man. But here shortly, man, I might be able to let McDonald's go and pull away from that if I can I'm trying to shoot for this little $800 Bayliner. The guy just yeah, the guy, or they call it yard liners, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he just redid the motor in it, so I'm gonna try and save up, and I'm gonna try and get that Bayliner, and I might be able to get a little bit of fishing in, man. You know what I mean? So it's all good, man. I don't mind working like I love work. I love this country, man, because at one point in time we were the biggest and largest innovators and had the most inventions alive, and we just did it big, man. And for some reason we had people uh that was afraid of competition, of seeing
Yeah.
who can do it the best, and it's not about who can do it the best, but if I do something and you add on to it, I'm gonna come and find you and be like, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
competition is a disease in America anymore. No one wants competition. If you want to know why Latinos voted for Trump, is because the new ones that was coming over had the same amount of skills they did, and it was going to take
Yeah.
away from their jobs. So
Right.
competition is a disease in America. Y'all stick together. Y'all, keep doing what you do. And Chevy, I just want to say, if you listening to the Chevy motherfucking the owner, CEO, if you listening, that 572 is a boss. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you, DJ. I appreciate it. That's the one thing about doing this. You get to meet a lot of different people. Everybody from somebody who works at the DOD and somebody like DJ just working his ass off to survive, like a lot of people are. This is truly what the country's about. And unfortunately, Republicans don't see it. They don't understand who the people are. All they know is they want what they want when they want it. I'm going to pick up one more guest, and then I'm going to wrap things up because we've already gone beyond the time, and I'm running low on my battery on my phone for whatever reason. So I'm going to pull this person up. We're going to just go real quick, and then we're going to wrap things up.
Oh boy.
Trucker T, we only have a few minutes because I don't have much time on my phone, and we're going to have to wrap it up. But give us the last word.
Yeah, I don't know if I can follow that great presentation, but if you guys, everybody knows me, I'm real staunch on veterans, and I was kind of disappointed today how the 4 military guys were finally mentioned by Dump today. He talked more about the machinery than he did our fallen soldiers. So I wanted to just kind of come up here and give them a shout out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 4 people lost in Lithuania. When Donald Trump was first asked about it, I don't know nothing about that. I hadn't even heard about that. You're the fucking president. If anybody should have heard about it, it should have been you, if in fact you care about the military, which clearly he doesn't.
That's my point.
They were driving a big truck, like a toy.
Well, and they're heavy.
Yeah.
They're very heavy. And then lastly, I wanted to say, I keep seeing these videos, and they're still blaming Biden about South Carolina and saying, hey, it's been 8 months. It's been 8 months. We haven't got any FEMA yet. My house is still torn down. Well, did you know that Trump pulled that money back?
Yeah.
He took the money back. It's like,
and he's president. He could send it down if he wanted to.
Nobody's informed, Boomer. I don't understand how there's so much technology out here and they refuse to actually use it. So,
yeah, that would be the only reason to ever go to a Republican event. It'd be the one time in my life where I could say, yeah, I'm the smartest motherfucker in the room with an average intelligence.
You and me both.
Jesus Christ, these people are stupid.
But yeah, I just wanted to pay homage to our fallen ones since the president couldn't say it, and go from there. So.
Absolutely. Well, Trucker T, thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca, TJ the Plumber, JD Farmer. I appreciate you guys coming to help me out. It's been great fun, and they always work out well because of you folks.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Everybody that joined us, thank you too, because that's the important part. These people coming up and speaking their minds and giving their perspectives, that's important, and we got to keep doing that. As long as TikTok allows us to do that, we will. If TikTok goes away, we'll do it on YouTube or someplace else. So thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.